guys, and welcome to It's Halloween Mischief. So today I am going to be showing you how to make, I put it completely out of my reach of course, one of these beautiful heads. Yay! They are actually really super easy to make. Go through the ingredients that you need. So first you'll need a bowl of hot water. You are also going to need some coffee, and I just got some cheap stuff because I'm not drinking it, so I don't care. You are also going to need some fabric stiffener. Stiffen the fabric. And some hard coat Mod Podge. It's the purple container. You can see, let me see if we can focus. Doesn't want to focus, but it's the purple one. You are also going to need some cheesecloth, twine, and you can use ink. I don't keep ink on hand. I do have ink pads now that I started doing paper crafts, but I don't normally have ink on hand, and I did not use ink when I did this one. So this is not ink, this is my makeups. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you're going to make some coffee in a bowl. You're going to take your coffee and you are going to pour a bunch of it into the bowl. And then you are going to add your cheesecloth. So you will take some of the cheesecloth, and I just cut off a portion of it, so this is how much is left. I didn't use a whole lot, but it will be enough to cover the styrofoam head. We're going to put it down inside of the coffee and want to make sure that it is covered. And you don't have to let it soak in there, but you do need to make sure that it gets covered. So after you have it covered, you're going to want to wring it out. Alright, so after you have dipped it into your coffee water, you just want to lay it out to dry. The original directions that I found, the girl said that she was really impatient, and so she would heat up her oven to 200 degrees. And then once it hits the 200 degrees, she'd turn the oven off, and then she would lay the cheesecloth on a cookie sheet, and she would put it in there, checking on it periodically to make sure that it was okay, and checking to see if it was dry yet. I am not that impatient, so I'm just going to let mine air dry. And I'm also not sure about this coffee that I bought, because it's a different brand than the one that I bought last time. And it's leaving clumps on my cheesecloth, so I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work or not. So I'm just going to let that air dry, and then I'll check it out after it's dry to see if I need to do something else with different coffee or whatever. Next, I'm going to move on to putting the face on the mannequin. Okay, so I have the cheesecloth outside drying, and now we're going to be putting the makeup on the face. This is the pattern that I did the first time. I actually pretty much copied the image off of the picture that I had found. And this time I'm going to be doing it a little bit different because I already have this one. So I'm going to make it a little different so that I can have two separate ones. And on your little styrofoam head, they give you indications of where each of the parts are at. If you know anything about contouring, you'll know kind of where you need to put marks at so that it emphasizes these parts. So I'm going to be putting it on the eyes, on the sides of the nose to kind of give depth here. And I'm sorry if you hear my kids, they're in there watching a TV show. And then under the nose as well to help accentuate the nose. And then on the mouth. And the mouth on this thing is really small. On this one you can see I made it very, very large and kind of Joker-like. I'm not planning on doing this one in the same manner. But you are going to want to make sure that you accentuate the mouth because of how small the piece is that sticks out. And I am using makeup instead of ink. If you want to use ink, that works just fine. But I prefer makeup. So I'm just using very dark colors, and I'm going to just apply onto the areas where I want it at. So I'm just going to do a little basic on this part. I'm not too concerned about the way it looks at the moment. I just kind of want to get the little base color down. You can use brushes, but with the styrofoam, it's pretty hard to get it to go into the crevices and stuff. I feel like I have better control over my fingers than I do of a brush, so I prefer to use my fingers. Go ahead and stick some down the side of the nose. I'm not doing it super thick. I just kind of want it to be there to show that it sticks out. And I'll be going back over the eyes to add some on the eyes and make them darker, because those are a piece that we want to have bold and we want them to stick out. This part I may need a brush on. This nose is a little bit pointier than the one I originally did. Just gonna not under here and on the mouth. And like I said, you're going to want to do it a little bit bigger than the part that sticks out, simply because they don't give you much of a mouth, and it's not really going to look like it's there once you put the cheesecloth on if you don't make it bigger than what the part that sticks out is. I'm just going to add more onto the eye. You really want this part to be dark. Like it's enjoying the TV show. Giving the layers on there. I also have a goldish color that I will be adding on. And that will help give some more depth to it as well. Alright, so just want to go with whatever kind of a look it is that you're going for. I kind of want mine to be like a beauty queen that maybe died of a broken heart or something. Alright, and so I'll just put the little bit of gold up here. Again, this is just to add detail and depth. Not a whole lot of the gold will show through the cheesecloth once you put it on because the color is pretty similar. But it's enough that I think that it makes a difference. I think it's worth putting it on there. And so if you're using ink, you'll probably want to use like a tannish or a brown, or if you do have gold, I don't know if there's gold ink or not, but you probably want to use like a tannish or a brown color. Just getting almost a drag queen look to her at this point. Which is fine, because once we put that cheesecloth on there, like I said, it doesn't stand out as much as it does without it. Alright, and I am going to do a little bit down on this part too, just to try and help give her face a little bit of color. Alright, so you want to make sure that you have it all smooth on all the spots. I'm going to give her a little bit of a smear on her mouth. I think it looks pretty good. So you just want to do whatever it is that you want for your face, how you want your face to look. And then I will show you what we do after the cheesecloth is dry. I'll be back. Okay, so now we are going to be using the fabric stiffener. And what you want to do is you'll just get a big bowl, and you're going to put your cheesecloth that you've already dyed with the coffee in the bowl. And you're going to pour this inside of here. You don't want to make it a big blobby mess, but you need enough to get it all over. And you want it to be able to stay in a ball. If you need to add more, you can add more. Alright, so you can see it's sticking into a ball. I'm just going to grab up the little bits that are in the bowl so that that will stick on there. I'm going to take our head, pull the cheesecloth out, and I'm just going to drape it over the top. I'm going to just try to kind of get it over it. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to be applying the Mod Podge over the top of it. And wrinkles are great. You want wrinkles inside of it, so wherever the wrinkles kind of just go, leave them alone. They're fine. You're going to take your Mod Podge, and this is the hard coat one, in the purple container. It has been a while since I used this. The lid is all glued on top of it. Alright, I'm going to take a foam brush. I'm just going to pour a little bit of this on here. It's going to be easier. Just spread this all over it. This will adhere the cheesecloth to our foam head. You want to make sure that you get it on the cracks and crevices, so the eyes are super important. Want wrinkles in here, so you can kind of use your foam brush to lift up the cheesecloth so that it makes wrinkles in it. Those wrinkles give lots of character to it, so we want that. Spread your Mod Podge all over it, and want it to be not super thick everywhere, but you want it to be a decent coat. My hand is sticking to the fabric, so it keeps pulling it up. When it's dried, these little wrinkles and things like that, it kind of gives it the appearance of some flesh that maybe has rotted or just kind of decayed off of there. You're going to do this to the rest of the head. I am not going to film it because this video will be like 6 hours long if I do. But basically you'll just apply it like this to the rest of the head and on the back. Don't go onto the Okay, so you'll want to make sure that you put a thick coat on there. You can see it's kind of goopy on here, but when it dries, it's going to not be visible, but that will help it to adhere to the styrofoam and the additional cheesecloth that you added on there. I didn't do it on mine yet, but you'll want to put a little bit of the Mod Podge going down the neck. I wouldn't go all the way down just because it hinders this from being able to move with whatever it is that you're putting it on, whether it's a table or if you're making it into a statue. It needs to be able to go out onto whatever you're putting it on. It's supposed to be flowy. So you won't want to go all the way down. And this twine part here, once it has dried, I'm going to remove this twine, and that just helps give it the crease on the bottom part of the neck so that it has kind of a flow to it instead of being loose off of the head and neck part. So I think it looks pretty good. I like this one. It is a different appearance than the other one that I did, and I enjoy them both. I think they're both pretty cool. If you guys make one, I'd love to see pictures of it. If you follow me on Instagram, you guys can tag me in it, or you can message it to me, or on Facebook you can post it on the wall. I'll have all the information for the Instagram and Facebook down below. I would love to see what you guys do. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys are getting into some Halloween mischief, and I'll see you next time.